Today we will study the next part of the unit number 2, that is the vertical irregularities. In the last lecture we have seen the various irregularities associated with the buildings, which are basically comes because of an earthquakes. So this is the second type of irregularities. We have already seen the plane irregularities, the plan irregularities. Okay, this is the second type of irregularities. So first is the stiffness irregularities, that is also called as a soft story. So basically the soft story is nothing but a story in one in which the lateral stiffness is less than 70% of that in the story above, or less than 80% of the average lateral stiffness of the three stories. So this is the definition of the soft story, and all the description of this type of theories which we have covered in the last lecture and which we cover in this lecture, these all are available in IS 1893 2002 with the diagrams. So kindly go through IS 1893 2002 for the same, and in your examination also this IS code is applicable, so you can refer that also in examination also. Second type is a stiffness irregularities, the extreme soft story. A soft story is one in which the lateral stiffness is less than 60% of that in the story above, or less than 70% of the average lateral stiffness of the three stories above. For example, the building on stilts which fall under this category. So we will see the details of these two examples with some suitable diagram in the next slide. So let us see that. So this is the example. We are talking about the stiffness irregularities. Suppose Ki is the intermediate slab, okay, and what is the definition of the stiffness irregularity? Here it is mentioned that Ki is less than 0.7 times Ki plus 1. Okay, so if the Ki strength or the stiffness is less than 0.7 times Ki plus 1, that is the upper story, or Ki is less than 0.8 times the average of this Ki plus 1 and Ki plus 2 or minus 1. So if the average of these upper and lower story is somewhat 0.8 times greater than Ki, then in that case it forms a stiffness irregularities in a buildings. Okay, so this is the example. Next is mass irregularities. This is also a one type of irregularities associated with the buildings. So mass irregularity is nothing but a irregularity which shall be considered to exist where the seismic weight of any story is more than 200% of its adjacent stories. So the irregularities need not to be considered in case of roof. So this is the mass irregularity. So let us see with diagram. So this is the example. So how mass irregularity can be categorized? So let us see that Mi, suppose Mi is the intermediate story and Mi plus 1 is the story above Mi, and Mi minus 1 is story below Mi. So we have to see how the mass irregularity comes under the floor Mi. So if Mi is greater than 2 times Mi plus 1, okay, that is the mass of the Mi is 2 times, that is 2 times greater than the above floor, mass of the above floor, or Mi is greater than Mi minus 1. So in that case the building is become irregular in terms of mass. Next is vertical irregularities with geometrics. So vertical geometry irregularity shall be considered to exist where the horizontal dimension of the lateral force resisting system in any story is more than 150% of that in its adjacent story. So this is the example. Suppose L1 is the length of the first building and L2 is the length of the two combined buildings. So vertical geometry irregularities means if L2, the length of L2 is greater than 1.5 times L1. So in that case it forms a vertical geometry irregularities. Next is discontinuity in the capacity or weak story. A weak story is one in which the story lateral strength is less than 80% of that in the story above, and the story length strength is the total strength of all the seismic forces resisting element sharing the story shear in the consideration direction. So let us see that. This is the example. Suppose S is the intermediate story and Si plus 1 is the story above Si, and Si minus 1 is the story below Si. So according to that we can categorize Si as a discontinuity in terms of capacity as Si if Si is less than 0.8 times Si minus Si plus 1, or Si is less than 0.8 times Si minus 1. Okay, so if this condition exists, then the type of irregularity will be discontinuity in capacity for Si. Next is irregularities as per NEHRP. This is the National Environmental Hazardous Resource परफॉर्मेंस है जिसके बेस पे इसको कैटेगराइज किया गया है. सो लेट अस सी दैट. दिस इज द एग्जांपल. This is the plan, or you can say that the aerial view. Suppose the T-shape plan is there. So this type of building is also very much dangerous as far as the earthquake is concerned. Then L-shape building is also not desirable. Then U-shape, then this frustum type shape is there. Then other complex type of shape is there. Okay. Then this type of story, this is a multi-story building is there, having parking floor is there. Under the parking floor the columns are fully open, so it forms a soft story. Okay, so this is also not desirable. So this type of irregularities should also be avoided. Then next is, this is also one type of example is there. All these diagrams are taken from IS 1893 2002. So you just go through that, you will get all these details in the same code. Then irregularities, this is also one type of irregularities. Okay, this is the spatial structures, shell structure is there. Okay, so this also not desirable as far as the earthquake is concerned. Okay, so these all are the irregular structures which form the irregularities in vertical directions, which are not desirable as far as the earthquake is concerned. So next is irregularity as defined by 1997 NEHRP provisions. So this is also the example is soft story and extreme story is there. Okay, then these are the some provision is there. Okay, so vertical discontinuity is there. This is also a very good example. This is a flexible first floor is there. All the heavy mass are supported by a column as a parking column which are fully open, so it forms a soft story. This is also a change of stiffness. Okay, the floor wise the stiffness of the structure is also changed. The length and stiffness of the column is also changed. Orientation of column also affect the discontinuity. Then discontinuous shear wall is also there. It is also a big reason behind the vertical discontinuity. Okay, then this type of east elevation, west elevation, this is the first floor plan is there. Okay, this dark line indicate the shear walls. Okay, then this is also not desirable. Short column takes 8 times the lateral load of the long column, so this is also not desirable. One column is too long and one column is very very short. Okay, so this type of irregularity is also not desirable. Then next is design imposed load for earthquake. Okay, so we have already completed the irregularities horizontal and vertical. So one question must be there, always ask in your university examination about the what are the different irregularities associated with the building during an earthquake. So you can explain step by step. Okay, with suitable diagrams. Okay, then the next part is the design imposed loads. So in an earthquake engineering we have to consider a lump mass as well as a imposed load. Okay, that is a live load. As we have already seen in RCC design, we have consider always the full live load, whatever the live load we have given as per IS, uh, the different code IS 1875 is there. Okay, so according to that IS 1875 part 1, part 2, part 3, we have to take the live load and we have to give the full impact of that live load in RCC design. But in earthquake engineering, we have to consider the imposed load based on the criteria given in IS 1893 2002. So this is the criteria which is given: the imposed uniformly distributed floor load in terms of kilonewton per square meter up to or include 3 meter. If it is there, then you have to consider the percentage of imposed load as a only 25%, and if the it is more than 3 kilonewton per meter square, then you have to consider the 50%. So this is the criteria you must understand while assigning that live load on your structures. It is a very important part. Okay, next is empirical natural time period. So this is the time period formula which is available in your IS code. So these all terms are associated with your numericals. When we analyze the building, so this the calculation of time period, calculation of mass, stiffnesses, okay, these all parameter we will required. So these parameter are available in IS 1893. So first of all, we see RC moment resisting frame without brick fill. So for that case, time period as a 0.075 h to the power 0.75 for RC frame building we have to consider, and 0.085 h raised to power 0.75 for steel frame building. So generally we are dealing with RCC structures in earthquake engineering. So therefore this formula, the first formula we will use. Next is other, including RC building with brick infill. So the time period will be 0.09 h by root d. So basically we know that all buildings will be analyzed and designed with the effect of brick infill. Brick infill is nothing but a brick wall. So for that case we have to use a time period as a TA is equal to 0.09. H is the height of the structure and D is the least lateral dimension. D is the base dimension. So based on that we have to calculate the formula for time period. Then this is the formula, distribution of a design lateral forces VB. So this is the formula by which we can calculate the horizontal force which we will apply at the nodal joint. Always remember, we have to apply this horizontal force at each nodal joint of the floor. Okay, so this is the formula which is available in IS code. QI is equal to VB WI HI square divided by summation of J to 1. J is equal to 1 to n WJ HJ square. So at each floor level, at the different lateral force resisting element, if the rigid floor diaphragm is there in proportion to their stiffness, and if the floor diaphragm is flexible, then consider in plane flexible diaphragm. So these are all formula we will use in our calculation part in our next chapter, that is chapter number 4. Okay, then next is, this is the load combination which is available. So generally building will be analyzed for two direction, that is X direction and Y direction. But in an earthquake engineering, the building will be analyzed for three major direction, that is in X direction as well in Y direction, and also one direction is also there, that is a Z direction. So orthogonal lateral forces resisting system in two plane direction, 13 load cases for the symmetrical building can be taken. So if the building is just like a rectangular building, then in that case you can be reduced to 7 for the beam. So 1.5 dead load plus live load. If you see this first formula, it is already we have used in RCC structures as per IS 456. But from second case, that is 1.2 dead load plus live load, we have to consider earthquake ELX. Earthquakes in ELX means in X direction. We have to use the earthquake in X direction plus ELY, that is earthquake force in Y direction. So plus indicates the earthquake force has to be applied in rightward direction, as well as minus indicate the earthquake force has to be applied in leftward direction. So rightward indicate the positive sign, whereas the leftward indicate the negative sign. So accordingly the load combination will be formed. Okay, so these are the basic load combination which are available in IS 1893 2002. So you can use this formula, or you can use this load combination while analyzing the buildings. Okay, then next is load combination for orthogonal system, that is along x, positive x, negative x, positive y and negative y. RC building with the orthogonal system, we need to design for the 13 load combination. So these load combination we have to consider. Okay, then next is non-orthogonal system. These are taken from the IS code, from the clause number 6.3.2.2. So if you see this clause in IS code, you will get this. When the lateral load resisting system element are not oriented along the two perpendicular direction, in such a case design for x and y direction load acting separately will be unconservative for the element not oriented along x and y direction. So we have to very much careful about this case. Okay, so these all are the parameter which are available in IS code. You can just go through that and see. Next is this non-orthogonal case. So these are the, if the building shape is something like this, so we have to use EX and EY, and accordingly we have to apply the earthquake force according to the nature of the building as well as the orientation and plan of the building. So these are the non-orthogonal system load combination is there. So we can use these 8 possible cases. Then these are the non-orthogonal case for the 25 load combination is also there. Then non-orthogonal, note that the design lateral force load for the building in x direction may be different from that of y direction. Okay, then load combination is there. So these load combination we have to consider. Okay, and we have to finally calculate the horizontal load. Then next is torsion. So this part we will cover in our next lecture. Thank you.